And welcome to the next episode of the Mixed Martial Arts Podcast. This is episode 12. I am your host, once again, Ben Cohn, joined by my co-host, Alejandro, who overslept. We're recording late. We also have Bilal again. Maybe I'll upgrade him to co-host or whatever. How you doing, guys?
Saludos. We're doing fine, I think. Happy.
Hola, everyone.
Yes, we're changing.
Line.
No, we're doing. No, I said saludos. It means the same thing. We have many words for many things, Ben.
We have like one.
No, you have hi, you have hello, you have greetings.
I was talking about Hebrew. Shalom.
Oh, okay. Shalom.
Shalom. Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
we're going to be talking
about really ethnic.
Yeah, I know, right? We're just.
Assalamu alaikum.
We're going to be talking about the card that happened last night. Alejandro and I are going to gloat.
Yes, we are.
Bilal is going to sit there quietly. There's a lot to talk about. A lot happened. It was kind of an interesting, an enjoyable fight card. There was a lot of fun fights. Some great finishes. Some unexpected surprises, I guess. And it was just overall a really fun card that I mean, I would rate that a solid 8 out of 10, personally. What do you guys think?
I liked it. I watched most. I watched most of it. But some fights I didn't watch because I was doing something else. Mostly watching the Punisher season 2. Great series. But what I did watch, which was a bunch of it, was extremely fun, and also the pacing was better this time around. Did you guys feel that?
Yeah,
it was definitely better.
Production kind of improved.
It's ESPN. They're kind of
better than Fox. You say it.
What do you call it? The ESPN has much better production values, and they're really good. They know what they're doing.
Except a man named Stephen A. Smith. Why was he there? Like, you're American. Why was he there?
He was there because he's basically one of the biggest talking heads in the entire sports world. In the entire sports world, like, he's actually huge.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, and also there to unite the entire crowd chanting "asshole." So it's a beautiful moment.
He chanted "asshole"?
For who?
I don't know. For a person.
For me, to hear everyone shout "asshole."
Oh.
What? I'm confused now. What are we talking about?
Wait, you didn't see that when the entire crowd came together to chant "asshole"?
I do remember that instance. This conversation has gotten weird.
They chanted it at Stephen A. Smith?
No, they chanted it to a person.
Yeah,
to a specific person in the card.
Oh, I didn't watch the fight. Remember?
Yeah.
I opted to not watch it.
I did watch the fight, if only because I wanted to see the production, how production would handle it, and I have thoughts on that. But okay, let's get into the meat of the card first.
Yes.
The good
part.
part.
Let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about the main event first, obviously. Henry Cejudo knocked out TJ Dillishaw in 32 goddamn seconds. Holy crap. I picked I gave TJ the benefit of the doubt that he would last till round 3. Alejandro said decision, so I get a little bit more credit for that. Bilal didn't pick Henry, so you sit in the corner, please.
Fuck off.
Shame.
And in
Shame, Bilal. Vergüenza.
In 32 seconds, we saw basically everything we thought Henry Cejudo would trouble TJ Dillashaw with. And it was
in my defense, offline, I told Alejandro what game plan I hope Cejudo would come out with, and he did 90% of that. I just didn't think he'd pull it off, actually.
Yeah. Look, I didn't think he would do it in 30 seconds. I know that Schwan Humes said he would finish him early, but damn. Like, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Schwan Humes.
Schwan Humes, yes, he called
if
it.
you don't follow him on Twitter for fight analysis, you are doing yourself a huge disservice. The dude is a phenomenal analyst. He writes excellent breakdowns. They have their own podcast, MMA Ratings. Go follow him. Go listen to him. Great guy. I cannot express enough how much I respect his opinion on fighting.
He's very good.
He's phenomenal. I wish he got more recognition from the camps who used his breakdowns as well, because there were people apparently who were stealing his breakdowns without crediting him, and it's bullshit. So
was it Kenny Florian?
It was most likely Kenny Florian.
God damn, Kenny.
You know what? That one comment makes up for your shit analysis of the TJ fight. Okay. Yeah. So basically, we saw what Henry did. He came out. He blitzed TJ, and this is what I saw of the fight. I saw TJ Dillishaw land a leg kick. He landed another leg kick to the knee, so I think they counted it as a check on Fight Metric, which Alejandro and I were talking about. And he missed a punch to the head. And
that was all he did.
That was it. That's it. Henry landed 3 strikes on the feet. One of them dropped TJ, and the rest was just brutal punches while he was on the ground trying to get his wits about him. Henry said he felt he rocked TJ with the first strike he landed, which was just like a regular straight right, which, if true, means that weight cut was even worse than I thought, because I personally feel that weight cut was a huge factor. Henry Cejudo feels the weight cut was a huge factor.
Except that TJ Dillashaw disagrees. He says he was not rocked at all.
Oh, yeah, no, he was just dropped 3 times in the span of 12 seconds because he wasn't.
Yeah. Was this 2019's version of I Felt Him Tap?
Oh,
that's the question.
Yeah. This is worse because Overeem dropped it once, like, he realized, like, oh, he didn't tap. Like, it's not like that later that night he's still saying I felt him tap, or like the next day he's saying I felt him tap. TJ is still saying I didn't lose.
He said he didn't beat me. He didn't beat me.
Yeah.
That was
wow.
There was so much gold from that post-fight interview. Like when he said that he wasn't rocked, he just got hit behind the ear, and that takes away your equilibrium.
Yeah, he was fine.
He could have recovered. Okay. But like, you can get rocked and recover still. Like, what's the point of that? You still hurt.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And listen, I this is where I wish Joe Rogan was still around for that fight card, particularly because he would not have interviewed TJ.
No, I think Anik went and spoke to TJ before interviewing him and asked him, "How do you feel?"
You don't ask a concussed person how they feel.
Why not? Maybe they want to get into Wall Street. You don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a bad idea. Of course, it was a bad idea.
Terrible idea, right? Like, and he should not have been interviewed. But basically, like, there is definitely a pattern of the people who beat TJ, right? Like, they all were able to come out hard and fast and
overwhelm him real quick.
Except for Cruz.
No,
yeah,
but I don't think we should be looking at the fights where TJ lost.
We should also look. Well, let's look at we could also look at the Cody fights, the most recent fights.
Oh, yeah. even the Barao fights, which he won. He relies so much on getting an angle when he comes in to protect himself that when someone shuts it down, he's prone to get stung.
Yeah,
and like. The main difference is that Cody didn't exactly pressure him hard. He waited for TJ to come in and just always turn to face him. But like Henry didn't give him any of that. He just pressured from the get-go. And when TJ stepped forward to like alleviate some of that pressure, he cracked him immediately.
Yeah. I think it's important to note that that one in particular, we are going to gloat a little. I'm sorry, Phil, and I'm sorry, Connor. We are going to gloat a little bit. No, I'm joking. One thing they did point out that I really, really appreciated, and I saw in the fight, is that TJ really does like being the smaller man and like being the faster guy. And I think that when he's not, it takes him time to adjust. And he didn't have that at all. Henry gave him no time to adjust to that speed disadvantage. and the fact that he was weight, and I feel like his durability was compromised a little bit, a lot. Demons, Bilal, demons. Mute yourself.
Oh shit.
I think that had a real effect on him. And yes, I will let you say something soon, Alejandro. It really hadn't affected him to me, where he didn't have that time to adjust. He had no time to adjust. Cejudo shut everything down. And I think that one of the reasons why, to me, that TJ looks like he has such sublime striking defense at times is that he relies very heavily on not specifically head movement, but footwork to not be there when the strikes are coming in the first place. And like you said, he operates with angles and a lot of pivots, but not like Aldo type head movement pivots where he's still in range to be hit, but you're not hitting him. A lot of TJ's head movement is when he's already not really there to be hit in the first place, and the guys who he's trying to get hit by are reaching for him, right? You know what I mean? Or am I not making any sense?
Yes.
No, I disagree with that, but he looks a lot more comfortable when he's inside the pocket already. It's just a transition from long distance to the pocket where he's a bit prone.
But may I say something?
Yeah,
may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree more with what you're saying, with what Bilal is saying, because as I said, like when you're like trying to establish a proper distance in a striking exchange, you have two options. I mean, grossly, right? You can have a purely distance-based distance management, right? In that how far are you in relation to the punches that are coming your way, or you can have a sort of craftsman approach in which you are inside of the pocket and you are bobbing and weaving or doing whatever upper like trunk movement you need to do and foot movement in order to position yourself in relation to the punches coming your way. And TJ does more of the former than the latter, in that it's, as you say, it's the angles, right? Like it's how he tries to sort of orbit around his opponent. It's not necessarily him on the inside trying to work and trying to make something happen. Those tend to happen. Those things happen, but during scrambles, and they're not something that he initiates using striking or positioning. So I agree with that, with your argument that it's mostly the angles that he cuts.
No, but against Parao and Cody, once he was in the pocket already, he did show good, decent defense there.
Yes, but during exchanges.
No. Even I'm talking about during exchanges when they were exchanging with him. What I'm talking about is a transition between long distance and moving into the pocket.
Okay, but
That's
let me. I understand that, but let me present a counterpoint. That is happening against opponent. That when we see that happen is when his opponents are already compromised, right? He's not using craft in order to place them where they are. They have already been hit enough that he can afford to make those let's say adjustments when he comes inside, and those usually happen in the middle of combinations with TJ, unless you think I'm mistaken. He doesn't set them up, right? He's not like Israel Adesanya or Anderson Silva or like people that would set them up. He's like planning outside, and then he gets in the middle. Whatever happens is going to happen, and that's when he adjusts to the exchange. But he's not setting them up with his shots, and he's not setting them up with he's not cutting the cage either. Like he's adjusting, right? He's responding to something. It's not necessarily a plan that he thought beforehand.
Yeah, but I mean, his guard and head movement is still there after the pocket exchange starts. It's more that initial entering the pocket where he's like, oh shit, I need to figure out what's going on here.
I agree, but that's happening against compromised opponents that do not have the craft so that it becomes a necessity that he set them up. And we saw it here. We saw it here, like that sort of, I don't want to say inability, but we haven't seen it yet. And he didn't try it in this fight. Like, what did he try to do with Cejudo? Like, what was the one punch he tried? Like, it was this like overhand. Like, he didn't set it up. He just threw it. So that speaks to someone that when pressed, he's if he has to make something happen, it's going to be like a big show, like a flourish of some sort. He's not
I don't think it was
necessarily.
an overhand. It looked like it was a right hook to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I think
Even
you're correct.
right
No, yes, you are correct. You're correct. It was a right hook because Cejudo ducked. Yes, he ducked
Right
and then
under.
he pushed him. Yeah, and then he pushed him. So like TJ is not necessarily thinking. He thinks on the outside and then he sort of makes it happen on the inside, but he's not thinking on the inside as things are happening, and he's not setting things up necessarily, right? Like
Yeah, no,
there's not.
I don't disagree with that, but that falls into that little space where he needs to close the distance into the pocket still. What I'm saying is that on the outside, he's generally defensively responsible. On the inside, is generally defensively responsible. It's a transition between the two areas where he gets stung.
Well,
Because
yes,
he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't set it up really that well, aside from trying to cut an angle and enter in that angle before they can hit.
okay.
But like when he tried that against Cejudo literally just shoved him. Like he wasn't even positioned to hit back. He just straight up shoved him.
Okay, but let me frame it this way then, so that we are in agreement. He's defensively responsible on the outside, and he's defensively responsible on the inside, but he's not as defensively responsible on the inside as he's on the outside, right? And it costs him a lot.
Yeah.
Because
Think about it. Every time he's been hurt recently has been in the pocket.
yes, that's my argument. And also, Henry Cejudo fulfills the criteria of all the fighters that have hurt TJ in the past. Not necessarily finished him, but that have hurt him. It is these super athletes that can explode forward and they can close that gap before he can react. Like TJ gets a lot of credit for the way he handles himself, his foot movement, his footwork, and the way he sort of creates these angles from which to attack. But at the same time, he tends to dally a little bit, right? He tends to survey his work a little bit too much, and he has this like tics when he moves. He does this dip, right, with his back, like he dips, and then he also crosses his legs a lot, and that sort of puts him at a disadvantage when he wants to continue moving. Like he literally stops and then he moves like that. Maybe that's on purpose, right? Because maybe he's trying to mask his rhythm. So caveat there. But for the most part, like he does these things that sort of leave him at a slight disadvantage against people that are waiting for him to stop so that they can then shoot forward. And Cejudo fulfills that criteria of someone that is perhaps smaller than him, much more athletic and much more explosive, and that hits much more harder. And it's interesting because as I had been mentioned the previous podcast, they are training coming out with these things sort of from the same place, in the sense that Cejudo is trained by a man named John Steinke, I think, who also trained with Ludwig for a while.
Yeah.
So he probably, like he said in the post-fight interview, that they got a bunch of people that knew the system. He said that knew the system, and like scientists, he said actually surveyed
Science.
Reviewed Dillishaw's style so that he was not surprised by anything. And Bill, do you want to say something, Bilal?
Yeah, well, first I wanted to agree with you on that shifting he does there, because to mask his rhythm, because he relies a lot on that stutter step when he enters on an angle. And Henry shut that down real quick. But also what I wanted to mention, and I touched on this earlier, was TJ being open to being countered, right? So offline, before the fight started, you remember me saying that I hope Henry comes out with a game plan where he pressures TJ, waits for TJ to kind of lash out to back him off, counters with a takedown, lets TJ scramble, and then shuts down that scramble to take advantage. And I wasn't too far off the actual game plan, except that he didn't shoot for a takedown. He just punched TJ really, really hard, or shoved him and then punched him.
Yeah.
And then TJ shot him for a takedown and
shoved him first.
Yeah. And then
like
when TJ shot in for a panic takedown, he initiated the scramble himself, shut it down, and then just beat on him. Which I want to take credit for getting that 90% right.
Shameless. You're shameless. You picked TJ. You picked
I
TJ.
Yeah, but like I picked TJ, but like he followed 90% of my hypothetical game plan. I'm getting whatever glory I can from that. But yeah, I mean, especially the pressure, because you touched on the speed differential, but that pressure took away a lot of the space TJ needs to actually set up his entry angles. So when he eventually did kind of move forward, Henry was just there waiting for that counter right.
Yeah. That's what you can do when you're Henry Cejudo and have this insane athleticism to bank on.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, when you're an Olympic wrestler, shutting down scrambles, I mean, that doesn't seem like a big task for him.
He just chained him.
Yeah, it went from bad to worse immediately when TJ shot him.
You want to say something, Ben?
No.
Okay, can I say?
Okay. I do think that I do think it's the one thing I would say I find kind of interesting about a lot of about MMA in particular is that a lot of these like styles that wow us as they come up, like think about how many fighters, right? We see that we're just like, wow, who's going to be able to beat this? And then when they're finally beaten, it looks so simple.
Well, but that's what it is, right?
It
well,
is,
everything.
Right? It's usually like pretty straightforward, fundamental shit that beats these ridiculous styles. And why do I always feel like it's a pressure-based style that does it? Like Pettis, RDA, just fucking pressuring him till like he's just not able to move. Like Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman just pressuring him until he's suddenly crying, like dead on the ground. You got TJ. Dominic Cruz is like, I guess not one, but TJ kind of would have beat him if he employed better pressure from the beginning. Like it's just interesting to me that a lot of it is just like simple pressure and Henry Cejudo beating TJ Dillishaw, and like it's very fun for me.
Yeah, because like they don't have the base. MMA fighters in general don't have that high level baseline footwork, and you need lots of space to pull off all that fancy shit. So it's like when someone pressures them, it's like, okay, where's all the space to like try my 360-degree flying tornado kick now? And it's the funniest. I find it the funniest thing ever. Every time someone gets hyped up as this like super martial artist who's pulling off all these things and is going to be the next Anderson Silva, and then whoop, here comes a wrestler who knows how to pressure.
Oh my God! Is this what's going to happen to Israel Adesanya? I'm going to be very sad.
Well, no, he's an actual striker.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Anyway, let's move on. We got to talk about something that I think makes us.
Wait, I just want to say one thing. Just one last thing about this fight, because it's part of the gloating that we missed a little bit. You know how a lot of people were picking TJ to win. Yes.
Yes.
And a lot of people picked TJ to win based on striking. But if you go back to the Henry Cejudo fight, Henry missed a bunch of shots, right?
He missed 3 shots on the feet.
No. I'm saying against Demetrius Johnson.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the previous fight. Now, imagine it is not Demetrius Johnson reacting to those shots. That's how fucking TJ Dillashaw got caught, because it's not Demetrius Johnson. He doesn't have the same kind of explosive capacity to move out of the way of things. And it's interesting that people just sort of wrote him off in striking after they had seen all this evolution that he has had.
Yeah. I think it also was. I think it was also because it was preceded by immediately preceded by the Pettis fight, where Cejudo kind of just opted to not fight on the feet. Really.
Yes, Pettis.
No, but Cejudo is still a prospect. I mean, he got rushed up into the title. That's why I said last week, you probably will improve, but I can't bank on improvements because, like, we don't know what's going on in camp, and guy's like legitimately having a young career. Like he's nowhere near his prime.
How old is he now? He is 28,
30.
30.
I think he's 31 or 32.
Wow.
No, he's
I'm not-
30. He's
I'm not talking
32
about his
next
physical
month.
prime. I'm talking.
Why
about,
does he
I'm not
still
talking
look
about
like
his
he's
physical
12?
prime.
Oh, he just has those gifted Mexican genes. The only problem is that you get a massive head.
Yes, he does have a massive head. He's got a Tito head.
I know. Like, is that what happens? Like, the only way we get
really,
Mexicans.
All right, we really have to move on.
I know, but just one last question. One last thing.
4 times, one last thing.
Yes, but I'm lying. Okay, is that the only way we get Mexican super athletes if they have massive heads? Like,
yeah, I mean, you got Tito and Cejudo. Move along. Next.
Yeah, and if they're corny as hell.
Yeah. All right. Listen, we're only going to mention this just to make fun of Greg Hardy, who walked out to a chorus of boos yesterday. He looked like a dude who had no experience. I didn't watch the fight. I opted to not watch the fight. I just didn't want to. But I heard that he DQ'd himself with a blatant illegal knee after gassing out and running out of ideas against a low-level heavyweight. But yeah, fuck you, Greg Hardy.
he was like heavyweight.
He didn't even gas himself out that badly. Like that.
Ran out of ideas.
Yeah, he just ran out of ideas, and then Crowder was walking down and shit talking him the whole time.
Good.
Like hands down, shit talking, telling him to come forward and give him something better. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I think I'll watch it just to watch Greg Hardy's look of confusion when that happens.
I think he purposely did. I think he purposely went for the knee because he was pissed off. Because like, I mean it when I say that he was getting walked down.
Yeah, but he also had like an advantageous position. Like Crowder had just filled the takedown, but it just seemed like Hardy. If you want to think wrong about him, and yes, you should.
Yes.
Like it looked like he had run out of options, and he looked for a way out. Like he does what he always does. Like he did Greg Hardy things basically. If you have read about this guy's past in the NFL, like there's a reason why these people didn't want him there. Yeah, I mean, he did what he does.
Fuck Dana White for pretending Greg Hardy can fight.
No, I mean, he can fight.
I'm sure he can fight, but like, come on.
No, he's very low level.
He's not ready for the UFC. He's good.
No,
great, because it means that we might see him get fucked up.
No, you will see him again because Dana White said the exact opposite that you just said in the post-fight interview. In that he said that now he knows Greg Hardy can fight.
Yes, I know. He's going to match. They're going to eventually match him with somebody who will fuck him up, and it'll be glorious.
I don't know if that's going to happen because of the athleticism that he has. Like, it's going to be very difficult.
Crowder was walking him down. So I disagree.
Yeah.
Gregor Gillette.
No, I mean...
Gregor, we're moving on. I don't want to spend any more time on this piece of shit.
No, can I just say something about the production of the UFC in this case?
Yes, but you get one more of those. Can I say one more thing?
And no, you can't.
I will never respect that, but yes, I hear you. When they brought up Rachel Ostovich, right?
Yeah.
They mentioned her DV incident at least 2 times.
Yeah.
But when they brought up Hardy, they sort of just glossed. I mean, they didn't even mention it. But when he made the walkout, people were jeering him, screaming asshole at him. And when he lost that fight and he walked away, like he went back to the dressing room, people were just still screaming asshole at him.
Good.
So this stupid
asshole.
Yeah. So this game that they were playing, like it completely backfired on them, and they still want to invest on him. It seems, and it's flummoxing. Like I don't understand it.
You know what's stupid? Just based off of that, like if the UFC really wanted to push a redemption narrative, they needed to talk to Greg Hardy and get professional PR people to bring them in and say, you have to do X, Y, and Z for a redemption angle to be working. You have to pretend to give a shit and be really sorry.
Even if you don't give a shit, you say, I'm sorry. Even if you don't give a shit. But they even didn't do that.
And just do domestic violence outreach. Donate money to fucking even if you don't care, do something good. And
the political campaigns.
I'm talking from a pure marketing standpoint, because
from a PR standpoint, yes.
PR standpoint, like you donate to DV shelters, you do outreach to people. You try to be like, I've done this, and it was the worst thing I've ever done in my life, and I regret it every day, and I'm so sorry to. It was his wife or girlfriend, I don't know exactly.
His girlfriend.
You say like I need to apologize to her publicly and over and over and over, and like make it a point where they're like, I'm going to apologize every single day because regardless of whether she forgives me or not, because I have to. That's what I need. It's just so stupid, and they're like, oh, this is his redemption angle where he clearly doesn't give a shit and like doesn't really think he did anything wrong.
Yeah, it's his redemption about this thing that we're not saying.
Yeah.
So it's like,
fuck the UFC, fuck Greg Hardy, and fuck Dana White. That's it. We're ending on
basically
that.
Moving on.
Gregor Gillespie absolutely sunned Yancy Medeiros in an adorable size mismatch.
I hated this fight.
I am happy.
Yes, I love this fight.
I loved it. Yancy didn't take too much damage, which was nice to see for once.
Yes.
Gregor Gillespie is fucking glorious to watch. It wasn't like a Khabib level shit kicking, but Khabib is also bigger than most of his opponents, while Gregor is smaller than all of his opponents. But Khabib always also looks like he's tired, and Gregor never looks like he's tired. And I hope that they eventually get to fight, because I will love to see them fight eventually.
You know, Yancy landed one strike the entire fight.
That's amazing.
One strike. Uno.
It's sublime to watch Gregor Gillespie work. I love watching his chains, his constant. He does not let you go. Like it's beautiful. And anybody who watches that and can't appreciate that, you can fuck yourself.
I appreciate it, but it's boring.
No, it's
not.
Go
fuck yourself, Alejandro.
You shut up. You go kiss
yourself. And you know what I want to see next? Just to shit on everybody, I want to see Gregor Gillespie beat Nate Diaz next. Oh my God. I would cry and I would laugh so goddamn hard when Nate is like bitch ass bitch as he's getting ridden into the ground.
You bitch ass bitch.
Oh my God, it would be so fun to watch.
but you know they're gonna set him. You know they're gonna set him up with like a James Vick or something, right?
Yes, and he would probably out wrestle James Vick until he went to a decision.
Isn't it amazing? Like I can understand like the technical mastery of what he's doing, and I wouldn't boo him because I know that some assholes booed him during the fight, which is really bad because the guy's working, right?
Can we watch? Can we watch him beat up Anthony Pettis? Can we watch him beat up?
No, shut up.
Ben,
Ben,
I will watch that with you.
Ben, Anthony Pettis is fighting Stephen Thompson now.
I know.
Alejandro, shut the fuck up.
He's gonna lose.
You be quiet.
He's gonna lose to Thompson because he's fighting against a guy who actually is a better kickboxer than him. Again, different kickboxer, but like, what's Pettis gonna do to Thompson? Seriously.
Well, yeah, Thompson outranges him and has slightly better footwork, so it's like
what's he gonna do? Honestly, he's not landing a spinning tornado kick. Like, come on.
No, that's a very difficult fight for him.
Yeah, he could leg kick him though.
He's fighting a bigger, better version of himself, right?
Not quite. Thompson is a karateka. Perez is a taekwondo guy. That's kind of where they fundamentally come from.
I'm not saying that he's a carbon copy. I'm saying athletic, flashy kickboxer, except one of them has actually better fundamentals.
No, but Thompson is more open to leg kicks than Pettis, which is always there. It just depends if he can actually take advantage.
Hold on a second. When have we seen Pettis?
Why are we talking about Anthony Pettis? Let him alone. Well, he's healing.
Okay, we're gonna leave him alone. But yeah, sorry, Alejandro. What were you saying?
No, before we got derailed in this Pettis bashing moment. No, what I'm saying is that Gregor Gillespie, I can see the craft. I can see I get mad when assholes boo fighters, but I can see the craft and I can see what he's doing, and I can see like the mastery of what he's doing. But it's so boring to me.
Okay, listen, you're wrong, but it's fine.
I know I'm wrong.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Quickly,
You
I'm
shut up,
looking through the rankings. I'm looking through the rankings right now. In the top 15, the only person I could potentially see troubling Gregor is Felder because of his size, and he's really actually a pretty good grappler, and he's actually a better grappler and wrestler than he is a striker. I don't see Hooker troubling him. I don't see Trinaldo. Hernandez, I don't think so either. Not yet. Diaz gets wrestle fucked. Vic, maybe just sheer size.
Counterpoint, Gregor is literally, an Olympic level wrestler. Like, he was, I think, in Jordan Burroughs' bracket, in his weight class when they were supposed to be trying out for the Olympics, and that's why he didn't make it. Like, he's up there with the Khabibs in the division. And you could see it here because he was able to switch grips on a whim. And
you're right. I'm
not
saying I disagree with his wrestling. I'm saying Felder is a uniquely difficult matchup, I want to say. Because
Felder struggles with top control. When Felder's on the bottom, he struggles because he always tries to just explode up.
Who's really taking him down, though?
What's that other Brazilian old tank, new T-bow, but better kickboxing?
Ronaldo?
Yes, Ronaldo beat him up on the ground. Badly.
No, is that Praxeras? That Praxeras? Oh no, he's a welterweight.
No, he's a welterweight. He's a welterweight now because I don't think they're letting him do lightweight anymore.
No, I'm talking about Ronaldo.
I know. I'm just talking about Praxeras. I'm looking for that. Hold on, Trinaldo. He got taken down one time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and he got beat the hell up into a stoppage.
Yeah, I mean, it was one time though. It was a stoppage. Yeah, it was TKO'd. But Trinaldo also hits really hard.
Yeah, but you can even hear it in his broadcast. He keeps saying, "No, what you need to do is explode up and stuff." And in that fight, he tried it and it failed because it's a dumbass thing to do. I think that against a subpar wrestlers, it's smart.
He might be not as good a wrestler, but once he's on top of you, he's also far more tanky. He probably outweighs Gregor by 25 pounds, and that matters. I'm specifically talking about Paul's strength, and Paul's not a Yancey. Yancey is skinny and lanky as shit. Paul is a fucking tank. He was not significantly outsized versus Perry, who's not a large welterweight, but.
Did you see Gregor fighting? What's his name? I think it's Jason Gonzalez or something.
I do.
The guy looked like a welterweight against him, and he still was able to get him down.
Right, but
in terms of probability, I think Gregor is more likely to take Felder down, and I don't trust Felder once Gregor has a grip.
Who is the worst matchup for him in the top 15, 10 to 15, and it's Paul Felder. Because
I think it's Kevin Lee or Khabib.
Kevin Lee is not in the 15. Is not in the 10 to 15. He's top 5.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Going up the rankings, the first person I could see him struggling with is Gagey.
Yeah, Gagey also.
Who's ranked number 7. I think Barboza would not be a good matchup. Would be a good matchup for him.
Yeah,
I'm a bit split on that.
All right. Anyway, let's move along. We love Gregor Gillespie, and I can't wait to see more of him. Let's talk about Joseph Benavidez versus Dustin Ortiz. I feel like there's a real argument for Dustin winning that fight.
I thought he won it.
I get why he lost, because positional grappling, he definitely lost that third round. There's no question.
He definitely lost the first round.
He definitely lost the first round. He definitely won the second round. He definitely won the second round. The third round is really like, how much do you value completely insignificant strikes? Because Dustin was definitely was trying to just land strikes, but none of them mattered. I'm like they were from positions where he was getting completely out-grappled. He's in side control. Someone's inside, Joseph's in side control, and he's like, I'm gonna hit him in the gut, with these little side punches. There wasn't anything on them. So how much do we value them? Right?
Not a lot. If they're not helping you advance your position or helping you improve somehow, they shouldn't count for too much if the other guy is trying to advance position and actually advances the position.
Right. So
because look at it as an exchange, right?
Yeah, it just matters how much you value them. If you value them at all, then you can make the argument for Dustin winning. I don't think there's any argument for him winning on the positional perspective.
No, potentially not. I like this fight. by the way.
Oh, it was a fun as hell. But I think we saw that. A couple things. One, I underestimated how much Joseph Benavidez has declined. He's declined more than I thought. Two, Dustin Ortiz's improvements mattered. Although I think that I feel like we accurately portrayed just how much they would help him, and I think that they mattered as much as they could have. Well, also, and I think it was
They mattered in the wrong areas. I think what you said.
Right. I think Joseph's decline was more responsible for this fight being much closer, more than Dustin's improvements.
Well, he's been through a lot.
What?
He's been through a lot, Benavidez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I really don't think
just
there's anything else to talk about. I think Dustin gets, not Dustin. I think Joseph Benavidez gets kind of fucking ruined by Cejudo if they rematch.
Yeah.
I just want to say something also, and this ties in with the Cowboy fight later. But like, I think we're in this sort of weird zone in the sport right now. This weird period where fighters have developed a technique enough that it's not just them, being phased out. Isn't just a function of a better athlete coming up who's less sharp worn.
Oh yeah.
Like, they are actually getting the technique up to a point there where it can overcome those previous barriers, which I love because get to see more fun fights.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
your favorite fighters stay longer.
Pull out some awesome performances, which we'll get to. I do want to mention this was a mostly grappling fight, and this was so exciting and so fun. And this is a type of a fight I would show casual fans as an example of how grappling can be exciting. It was fantastic. And Dustin Ortiz took on one of the greatest scramblers in the history of the sport in his element. And all the props in the world to Dustin Ortiz, because that was, as someone who loves grappling and is a grappler, that was sublime stuff to watch. I loved it. So thanks to both of them for putting on that kind of fight. All right, let's talk quickly about Paige Van Zandt versus Rachel Ostovich. I know this fight kind of depressed Alejandro, so I won't spend too much time. I just want to make the point of this is Paige Van Zandt has clearly regressed from a skill standpoint in my mind, and Rachel Ostovich has really improved despite all the shit she has had to deal with, and that's impressive in and of itself. But this also showed us that when you're talking about two fighters who are not that high level skill wise, that athleticism makes all the difference in the world. And this is what we saw. Paige Van Zandt had two bursts of offense that entire fucking fight. And one of them damn near like that leg lock situation where it was like Paige Van Zandt is clearly not a leg lock person, but just that like burst of offense already, I was like, what the fuck? And then that second burst of offense, she won the fight. So it really matters when you're talking about two lower skilled fighters. And when we get to the other, the Glover fight and the Cerrone fight, we're going to see how experience and skills do matter when there is a significant athletic disadvantage.
Yes.
And that's so go ahead. Yeah, that's my take on the fight.
My take on the fight is that I do think that Paige has regressed, right? I think it's in the sense of how much she has struggled in the context of fighting, right? Because it's because of her training scenario that she has many ventures outside of fighting, it seems. And she also has been dealt a shitty hand with, breaking her arm. And she has spent a lot of time away from fighting. If she's not injured, she's engaged in other stuff. So when she comes back to fighting, you can see that that this girl needs more build up. She just needs more build up. As for Ostovich, I think she did okay. Like, she did well. She's still young in her career. I know that her record is not the best, but I think she would be well served to go back to the regional level and sort of polish her skills there. Like, it's fine. She got UFC experience. She got to see how the big show is. But she can get better. Like, I don't think she got like dominated in any way. Like, she lost.
Not even close.
No, she lost the scramble. Like, she won the first round. She lost the scramble. She seems fine. She of course has to do like some work in her personal life to make everything click so that she can keep like fighting, right? Because the DV thing is no joke. But I think she's talented. I think she can get far as far as her fighting career.
I feel like her athleticism will really limit her. She's not athletic.
Not as athletic as Van Sant, because
No,
Van
I
Sant
mean, even by like regular standards, she's fine. She's mid
yeah,
best.
yeah. She's
athletically.
also fighting undersized. I just realized this fight, like quite undersized.
I wouldn't say that. She was bigger than Van Zant.
No, she wasn't. Watch the fight again. No, watch them at weigh-ins. She is thicker than Van Sant.
That matters,
But
especially in grappling, a lot more
no,
than you realize.
but it's not muscle. Like when you see where she lost the fight, wasn't the strong, like in those muscular exchanges. That's where she lost the fight. And I think that the problem that she has is that she has the frame of a strawweight, but she's built like a flyweight, but she's not carrying a lot of muscle, right? So that's going to limit her going forward. But she can develop herself. Like she needs to go back to the regionals, develop, put some effort in, and fix her stuff or get as close to fixing it as she can, and just keep going. It's fine. She's gonna be fine. I hope she's fine. And Paige, that's a more difficult thing to deal with because I don't know what her training situation may be in. She may be in, but I do see a lot of problems in the stand-up. The very least, the stand-up is someone better equipped, much better schooled, of which there are plenty at strawweight, is going to do bad things to her if she shows up again like she fought last night. And
I
that's
want to see a fight in J-Check.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, but of course, because you guys are in your sadistic streaks.
Oh God. All right, we're gonna move on after that, you dick.
She looks like Anthony Pettis right now. Is that what it is?
Glover
She
Teixeira.
looks worse. She was doing
Glover
all...
Teixeira defeated.
No, I meant her.
No, we are not doing one more thing.
No, I know. Wait, you're traumatized. Like I wasn't going to say anything.
I was preemptively.
One more thing. Like Bilal kiss a baboon. Okay, you can keep going.
Glover Teixeira defeated Carl Robeson by arm triangle. I called it, like literally called that. I'm not surprised. Sorry, I leaned away from my mic. I'm not surprised that Carl Robeson knocked down Glover Teixeira, and I literally was like, "Please don't fight on the feet. Like, just don't, just don't, please."
This fight made me sad.
Yeah, it didn't make me sad. It actually made me happy because it basically was like, this is Glover Teixeira pulling out that veteran savvy, recovering, which was nice. He recovered from the knockdown, was able to put Carl Robeson down. And you know what? Like, Roberson's young enough that it really is not going to affect him. He didn't really take damage. He's 28. Like, it's fine. Like, he lost 2 fights in his career, and they're both by arm triangle. This is like, these are prospect losses. He's only 4 years into his career. He's fine. He's going to end up being a light heavyweight prospect. Like, he's a middleweight who's going to be a light heavyweight prospect. I'm not worried about Carl. It was just nice to see that Glover did exactly what I called. And
it's 2 weeks. He fought in 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah,
or something like that. Like,
yeah,
it's not bad. I'm just sad that young people keep losing to old people.
I find it amusing.
I know, right?
Because it's just veteran savvy at this point. Like, it's
I
like,
know.
it's like the young dudes like not understanding what has been beating these older dudes, and then thinking they could just fucking blitz them. Which we'll talk
They
about.
can use youngness. They can use youngness to beat them.
Yep. And Bilal, any comments before we jump right into Cerrone Hernandez?
I just find it hilarious that like a bunch of middleweights are coming up and making the top 10 light heavyweights look like like faded and like just bad.
Yeah, they are. It's funny.
Like if Carl Robeson were ranked just a little bit higher in middleweight, he'd have probably beaten Glover.
Yep. And I was actually talking to Schwan Humes about this on Twitter, and we both agree that it's like, this is just a bad game plan this is bad training by this camp. Like, his camp should have ingrained into him, like, you're gonna knock Glover down. You're faster. You're a better striker, honestly. Just if you knock him down, let him get back up and knock his ass down again. The KO will come. We were talking about this. Like, it was ridiculous. And we're gonna
But he had no camp. He had no camp.
But the entire camp should have just been like, you're gonna knock him down with just do what you do on the feet. You're a better striker than him. You're faster. You're more athletic. You're powerful. Just let the KO come to you. Don't get overexcited and jump into his fucking guard.
Fucking Glover. He's so good.
He's such an underrated fighter, I think, in the grand scheme of things, because of like the way his UFC career panned out. Anyway, let's move on to Cerrone Hernandez.
Sadness, more
Cerrone
sadness.
pulled it off. Most fights in UFC history, most wins in UFC history. I think most finishes in UFC history, or WEC and UFC. I think it is Zuffa history. I want to say maybe. What else is there to say? The dude's a legend without ever having won a title.
Yep.
And he beat back the young Alexander Hernandez. Another bad game plan. Like they did not understand how it's like they don't understand. Like it's like his camp. First of all, his camp was apparently giving him like shit corner advice. But and Trevor Whitman was like, I don't like the way they handle this.
That was like, it's insult to injury, right?
He was like trying really hard to be nice about it. Like he was, you can tell he basically like wanted to say like, what the fuck are they doing?
Because it seemed like what their instructions were like: use youngness, be young, be younger,
be younger and faster. Like,
why are you telling him this?
Like, I wanted Alexander to just be like, "Bitch, I'm trying. What do you want?"
I'm being younger every time, and it is not working.
I don't understand. I'm younger and faster. Why are the punches not mattering? Like, you can't just beat Cerrone by being younger and faster. He is still a really good fighter. You have to use craft when you blitz him. And he was just like walking up the middle.
To be fair, that is like the standard team alpha male corner advice. So maybe they took some classes.
Scramble harder.
You're faster.
You are faster than him. Just punch him. It's like, I'm trying. It was bad. Like,
and it's also like a particularly disastrous loss. I hope he doesn't take this too hard, because that's a disaster. Like, did you guys see the pressers before the fight? Like when he's sitting like across the road and he's talking mad shit, and he's kind of like, "You're gonna lose, old man, because you're old."
It was a fundamental misunderstanding.
It was like so cartoony, like, and it kind of made me root for him, because like, oh my god, this is so absurd. I have to root for this guy, because I don't know who told him to say this thing, because you're geriatric, old man, because you're an old man.
I mean, this was like a fundamental dismantling. Like this, we saw every trick Cerrone has, and we got to see the vast spectrum of it, minus like not that much grappling, obviously.
No, but we saw the stand-up craft in the stand-up, to the point that the other guy just completely ran out of options, because he tried to like improvise something, but it just wasn't there. Like, you could literally see he bottomed out.
Yeah, what I love is you can like see Cerrone thinking as the fight goes. So like after the first few exchanges, it's like, oh wait, Hernandez is just like walking back in a straight line with his hands down. Why don't I follow him? And then he just like lays down these combinations.
And that's
and Hernandez has no idea what's happening.
He's like, wait, he's supposed to just back away. He's not supposed to do this. It's like
why is he following me? Go away.
And you can see
the confusion. Like, he's like, we didn't do this in camp. I don't understand. I don't know what's happening.
It's like a horror, but it's like a horror movie, right? Imagine you're Alexander Hernandez, and he was actually doing some pretty decent work in like the first minute or so.
Yeah, because like Cerrone was doing what he normally does when he's pressured from the out, which is like fuck, and then you had wait.
Using the power,
just doing the same things. I felt the power. It's fine. He doesn't hit harder than Lawler. Like
he does. That's kind of funny, because that's like how he grades people now. Yeah, he doesn't hit harder than RDA or Lawler. I think I can take him. He also got hit by Eddie Alvarez. It's like, it's insane. So he's fighting him, right? And then he's like, Alex Hernandez is like, hell yeah, I'm younging him out. And then and then suddenly it's like, oh shit. What's happening? And then you start hearing like the Jaws theme in the background. Dun, 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 dun.
Or it's either that, or you got the Halloween theme song, like Michael Myers, like, and like, no, he's walking towards me.
If Cerrone had lowered his guard and just started taking like strides towards him, I would have lost.
Like, Cerrone's not an asshole, so he didn't. But and you could tell it's weird. Like Cerrone definitely seems like more business, more like serious.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen him mad. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, like you see, like since he had his kid, he's just like taking this more seriously. It seems
He's more mellow now. Yeah, but the only times I have seen him legit mad were against Nate Diaz and against Miles Jury of all people. But because Miles Jury had insulted Diego Sanchez and stuff like that. Oh, it was an easy fight. Well, okay, let's see. And he kicked his ass, literally kicked his ass.
Oh my god, that was one of the most badass looking things where he's like standing over Jury, and instead of like engaging him on the ground or like making him get up, he just starts kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah, I love that. It's like he sees his guard there, and Jury is waiting for him to jump into it, and suddenly he's like, "Nah, just fuck you."
And he put everything on those kicks.
Yeah, those ass kicks, those ass kicks are the hardest ass kicks I've ever seen.
And you can see Jury's like, "What the fuck is happening right now?"
You're literally getting your
ass kicked. Yeah.
Yeah. So that Cerrone wasn't here. It was more fuck young people. I'm just gonna fuck him up.
Let's look at it from here. All right, we got Cerrone at 35 years old. He's definitely shop worn, but clearly the weight cut. I think his output waned. I think he definitely was conserving energy. At points in the fight, I'm like, he looks a little bit winded. And he's like, but he did a really good job of conserving, and that's the veteran savvy. How far can he go in his run?
I don't know, but Dana White seemed receptive to the idea of him fighting Conor. So I hope he does.
Cool with that fight. I really would be cool with that fight. One huge payday for Cerrone.
Yeah,
Conor has a winnable fight there. Cerrone has a winnable fight there in 5 rounds.
But he won't go 5 rounds with Conor, I think. I think Conor is too fast and too young, and he's going to catch him with something.
And he's crafty enough to actually use his youngfulness.
Yeah, his youngness. His youngness.
Plus, he can match Cerrone's range.
For sure. I would like to see it, though. I feel like Cerrone's earned that, and I would like to see it. All right. Go ahead.
It's also a championship level fight at lightweight with a guy that is not the champion, but gives him more of a pull as far as pay-per-view buys and whatever than the champion.
Yeah. At
this point, so it's a fair. I think it's a fair fight for him now, in the sense that here is your reward, right? This is a payday that is going to change your life. I mean, with the way Cerrone spends money, who knows, right? But
he seems to be getting more careful with it since he had the kid.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're going to talk about we're going to do quick hits on the remainder of the card. Joanne Calderwood versus Ariane Lipski. I think for me the theme of the card is shitty game planning by camps or good camps. Ariane Lipski had every reason to win that fight. The game plan to beat Joanne Calderwood existed. And she just basically since Marina Moroz just fucking walked her down and just destroyed her in 30, the game plan
overwhelmed her with activity.
Yeah, she has either lost or been troubled in every fight that has happened to her without fail. Without fail. Every fighter who has done that. Courtney Casey damn near beat her in the first round also. Jessica fucking destroyed her. Cynthia Carvalho beat her. It's just so ridiculous. And what does Lipski do? I'm going to have an outside range kickboxing fight after getting ground out. Instead of the second round, understanding, okay, so I had success in the first round doing X. I should do it again. And her camp saying the same thing. Instead, she's like, I'm going to stay on the outside to avoid the takedown, even though I cannot compete with Joanne Calderwood in a slow-paced kickboxing match, and I cannot compete with her on the ground, clearly. So...
Just some. I think she gassed. I think she gassed in the first round.
Irrelevant.
I don't know how she.
But that's what I'm saying. If that's the case, that she just gassed out, you still need to stick to a game plan that makes sense. Lipski didn't. Your game plan.
I know.
To it. You're not going to be better doing something you're worse at while now tired too. if you at least try and continue to use the game plan that was actually working for the first minute of the fight and continued to work, work for everybody.
Okay, but
Come on.
but you're hit with two different things, like the things you need to do and the thing that you can do. And the problem is that she was just exhausted. Like physically, she could not bring herself to. No, yeah, she was exhausted.
She was tired. I think she was tired, but her shots still had pop on them, and she was still moving quickly.
Okay, let me rephrase. She was exhausted, not necessarily physically, but mentally.
Okay, so that's a failure of camp preparation, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
And props to Joanne Calderwood for the improvements in her grappling. Phenomenal work. She looks way better than she used to, obviously. Props, can't argue with it. And I always root for her because she trained at Marcelo's, and I like her a lot. She's really sweet. Her voice is also really like soothing, right?
Yeah, she should like record a poetry. Like she should just make a poetry recording.
Yeah,
and you're like reading poetry.
You know what? She do? Hold on. Yo, she should make an ASMR channel.
She totally should. She would be rich.
Moving down the card, just props to Alonzo Menafield. He basically won by hitting hard, and Vinicius Moreira just like throwing stupid spin kicks. But Menafield landed most of his strikes on the double forearm guard, and I was worried that he would just gas himself out doing that if Moreira just kept doing that and letting him do it. But Moreira was like, "No, I'm going to throw a spin kick." And Menafield like saw him do it 3 times, so he just stepped out of the way and hit him really hard. So that's already makes him a top 10 prospect. So
it didn't win this fight.
It was funny. It's worth watching just for the stupidity of the fight. Like it's a fun, dumb fight. And Menafield's post-fight speech made me a fan because he's like seems like a really good dude. So I liked him. Court, any comments on the fight from you, Bilal?
Bilal? Where the fuck is he?
No, I had it muted. Not really. I think Ben hit all the good points there.
Yep.
I mean,
fair enough.
Corey Sandhagen, like every top 10.
Corey Sandhagen gave me a jiu-jitsu boner, so awesome.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Didn't watch it either.
Dude, watch that fight. It was a sexy ass like dismantling from like submissions to like it was awesome. The submission chaining was great. Thank you, Dennis Bermudez, for an awesome career and some amazing fights.
That was really touching at the end.
It was really sweet. I was so happy. He didn't cut weight this time. He looked really good. He took out a younger, more athletic, bigger fighter while having some trouble in the beginning. I really impressed with the fact that he like built on his takedown attempts. He missed his first 4 takedowns, but he like advanced position on each successive missed takedown until the point where he got it, and then he just fucked Tay Edwards up on the ground. So all the respect in the world. Thank you, Dennis, for an amazing career.
Yeah.
And I haven't forgotten that 7-fight win streak. So kudos, man. You're a fucking great good. He was a damn good fighter, and he's always going to be underrated, I feel like. But yeah.
At least he has the Guinness World Record still.
Also, didn't he win? So didn't he beat Max Holloway at one point?
Yes. Granted, probably a robbery, but
no, he beat Max Holloway.
Yes, he did. And finally, Jeff Neal defeated Bilal. Remember the name Muhammad?
I'm sad,
and it made me happy.
I don't want to talk about this.
It made me sad.
Can't we talk about Joanne Calderwood's voice rather? I'd much rather do that.
I picked Bilal Muhammad because I didn't put as much stock in Jeff Neal's striking as others did. Granted, I underrated him because when he beat Frank Camacho, I was like, okay, so he beat a basically walking punching bag. I don't really put that much stock in it, but to do what he did to Bilal Muhammad was really impressive, and I'm actually on board now.
I don't want to talk about this.
When he beat Frank Camacho, like Camacho was just like a damage sponge, right? And there's some point where they disengage, and Camacho screams like, "Come on!" And then like 10 seconds later, he gets knocked out.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love those. I like Frank Camacho, but that's fucking funny.
Yeah.
We're not going to discuss the last fight on the card because of reasons that will, I'm sure, make the rounds in the MMA world. But, no. thank you for joining us. This was a great. I really enjoyed this fight card. A lot of good stuff. Fuck Greg Hardy. Fuck the UFC and Dana White. Guys, any other things you'd like to end on?
Yeah, I just like to say.
No, go
I
on.
just like to say I really enjoyed the main event because just prior to the fight, I had this sort of narrative forming in my head where TJ is like this 80s high school movie villain whose dad is gonna shut down the rec center unless the hero beats him in like a karate tournament to win prize money and like get funding to upgrade the place.
That's funny.
he just
So good.
and then he just comes out and blitzes him. It's like, I saved the rec center, guys.
Save the rec center. And then you have like the dad, like, is like, no, man, this is fucking bullshit. And then you have like this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking
Yeah, that's true. It's a perfect 80s movie. It's like
That's
a karate movie.
This was a literal 80s movie.
Yeah,
It's
like
a perfect-
all the flyweights were like cheering for Cejudo.
All
Even Joe
the
Benavidez,
12
TJ's
flyweights.
training partner.
All the 12 flyweights and like his rival who like it would have only been perfect if Demetrius Johnson helped Henry Cejudo train.
Yeah, like if you
that
showed
would have
up in
been
his corner.
perfect. Like if and DJ just like walking like they do like the Rocky thing at the end where they're jumping in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like this extreme bitterness of TJ, like man, like it's perfect. Like you can make a movie out of this. Just take all the adults and make him kids.
Someone needs to meme that Salt Bay guy with like TJ's face on him. Alejandro, anything you want to end off on?
No, I'm good. Like that, we should end with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for joining us. I've been your host. Alejandro's been your co-host, and Bilal wasn't napping. Thank you so much, and have a great week.